But then I got turned into a zombie.
Well, that's because everyone got one round of not getting murdered by the DM for that game because we were experimenting, and you just got yours second. Didn't you get second? Didn't Garrett get first? When someone critical fumbled twice and you killed him?
I don't remember.
Oh no, wait, that was Tyler. That's right. Garrett's the one who killed him. Right.
Alright,
I know I died to that game from the Big Bird.
That's the aforementioned 200-foot melee combat against a bird thing.
But it gave you a really great story. There's also the story that I disrupted a casting chanting ceremony on a bunch of dragon eggs by shooting one with was it a short sword shoved in a potato?
Yes, it was a short sword shoved in a potato gun.
And rolled a natural 20. And I made everybody at the table freeze and stare at me. It was the first game I played, and I'm like, what? Was I not allowed to do that?
Well, keep in mind also, it was a second edition game, which means they didn't really necessarily have rules for that. So she disrupted a big, elaborate magic ritual by shooting the thing, getting all the magic. So the DM just kind of rolled some random numbers. She promptly murdered the wizard doing it, his big minion next to him that was supposed to be the big challenge for the fight, and I think all but 2 or 3 of the little minions.
And pissed off the one girl at the table that wanted to study what was going on and the eggs, because I think I killed all of the eggs as well.
Love it.
See, this is why I want her to play with me sometimes, because she has that degree of let's get things done, I'm crazy, that most good games need at least some of.
Well, to be perfectly honest,
okay, we're gonna go
I had a really weird sleep schedule. Russell had been working.
Do a quick run through of all the Void Talon
who was DMing it, and
spawn portals and some of the rare amounts that I don't have yet from Warlords.
To get everything ready. We did that. We had this big wipe off mat that they were using for the maps and color erase markers. I was really bored. Nothing was happening for like 15 minutes. Everybody was sitting there digging around. What should we do? And I'm like, oh my god. And I'm sitting there coloring. And you know what? I was like, you know what? That's it. Load my gun. And I shot the egg because nobody was doing anything. And I got really bored and really pissed. And then everybody looked at me and I felt like 2 feet tall because I was like, what? You weren't doing anything.
Oh my god.
Okay, I point out I was playing the melee warrior. I couldn't do anything because there was a giant pile of things in front of me.
And I made it not a giant pile of things in front of me.
Do
I thank you.
These ones first. Just because.
I got nothing. It's too perfect.
Yeah, so now I make sure I've got like doodly things with me so that I can not do something as horrendous as that before. Or again, rather. But yeah, I was like, okay, right.
Well, on the occasions where I would DM, if, like, and Russ, you'll appreciate this.
Uh-oh.
That just brought a smile to my face.
You can sit there and write out your story arc and draw up your maps and plan out as much as you can where, you know, you have them starting at point A, you need them to get to point B, you need to get them to point C, but somewhere around point B where you want them to go right, you always get that one player that says, no, I'm going left. And
well, you know what the trick for that is, right?
Well, either you are forward-thinking enough to have a rough outline of what happens if they go left, or you're clever enough to come up with something pretty decent on the fly.
Not at all. The solution is you write out your plans for A, you write out your plans for B, you don't tell them about either, and then whichever way they go, they're going to get to B. Gives the illusion of choice, and they don't screw up that you put in 2 weeks of effort for their game day and they decided, hey, I don't want to follow that.
But there's also the DMs that don't do that, and they try to force you to go right.
Well, that's when training comes along.
Wow, I was watching the stream. I'm like, hey, Stone's running up the side of that mountain. I did not realize you were on a flying mount from the angle.
Wow.
Oh my God, you're on what me and my buddy Arco.
Oh my god.
To be
Yeah,
fair, I was
sleep
thinking the
last
same
night.
thing.
What, that it's a derp horse, or he was running on the side of a mountain?
When I turned and looked, he was standing right about where he is now.
No.
So he was just standing there at the very edge, and I was like, "Wow, that texture looks really weird for the ground." And he started flying. I'm like, "Oh, that would be why."
This is the one thing that bugs me about that mountain. That is just so freaking weird.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it.
That's why we call it the derp horse, and
The what? The what horse?
the derp horse.
Oh, the derp horse. All right.
You break it out, and it's like, oh, I'm a horse. Oh, horse.
See, I figured
Thank you
would've-
so much. I'm gonna have to use it at some point.
Wow.
I figured you would have called the sparkle pony the dirt horse.
No,
No,
it's just that I can see where you're going at with that, because if you look at it, the striding animation is so ghastly and so obviously mechanical, and it just, even though it's a video game, it just doesn't
drunken,
work.
idiotic, inbred redneck horse. It's a derp horse.
Just needs a straw hat.
Go look at me! I'm running through the sky. I'm a horse.
Not that bad.
I
still
hate
want
that
it for
mount.
my collection, but you know.
Oh, Jesus.
Sorry, Stir. You could always order one.
Dude.
Damn it! Now I want pizza.
Why
All
do you
of
say
Yeah,
that?
I would like some pizza too. I would
You're
love
welcome,
some
world.
pizza.
And I can't do anything
Love
about
some
that for at
pizza.
least another 4 hours.
Ugh.
Get pizza. I can't
Right,
do nothing
'cause
about that.
Domino's
Cheers.
doesn't open till like 12. Oh yeah.
Domino's.
Domino's is the best option we have, dude.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's how bad it is down here.
There's not a lot in the way of good fast food down here. There's no good Chinese. The pizza, I find it acceptable, but then again, I never liked the artisan stuff, and that's too
That's,
expensive for me. So
It's a sad commentary when Domino's is the best option.
it's
Even
actually
if
not that bad down
Quote
here. It's a lot-
unquote improvements.
I point out that I used to live in New Hampshire,
Somebody
and
just
I can see
flew
where
past me
that
looking for
particular
the same thing.
Domino's would get a lot of guff. The one down here isn't that bad. I'm not sure if it's different or if it's
Look.
just the fact that I hadn't tried it in ages. I don't know, but it's not that bad.
It's sad because down here Domino's is actually better than Pizza Hut. And trust me, we've eaten around
What?
and yeah, the local place is like 10 minutes, not even 5 minutes from the house.
Nope.
It's really
Wow.
bad and really expensive.
Gotta go
Domino's is
down, gotta
better
go
than
down.
Pizza Hut. Up is down, left is right. The sky is green, the grass is blue. Cats and dogs are living together. It's a madhouse.
Yeah, it sounds like Northwest Arkansas.
It's
Ghostbusters.
beautiful.
No, we had an awesome pizza place 2 minutes from
They just
where I
need
lived in New
Ghostbusters.
Jersey, and we were there so much. The guys just knew us on site, and it was like, oh yeah, oh, and then like we'd go to order, they're like, oh, you want something different today? And
Okay, we're gonna go.
That's
to
unfair. They didn't see us there that often. We
Oh,
ordered
but
we
they
ordered
knew our
delivery.
voice.
over
The
meow.
Chinese people knew us when we walked in.
They probably would look at the caller ID and be like, "Oh, it's you guys."
They would like ask about how my dad was doing and everything. they knew us.
Yeah, when we went back to get him, like what was it, a year and a half after we moved down here or something?
Like 2 years, I think.
Yeah. After 2 years, I went back to go drag him down here. Me and Dee went up to New Jersey to bring him here for a bit, apparently. And when we went up there, we went and got food from them, and I walked into the store, and they
Waiting for
immediately
Brookmire.
recognized me and asked how everyone was doing, like by name.
Beautiful.
Yes, it was. I do admit it's the one good thing I ever experienced in New Jersey. Well, two good things: the food places that were right there, and actually having a boardwalk. I do kind of miss that.
I know, I miss the boardwalk bad. Well, the Ocean City boardwalk, the Atlantic City boardwalk is sucky.
Well, it's Atlantic City. What do you
Only
expect?
boardwalk I knew was Wildwood Crest because my family vacationed there a few years in a row.
Yeah, we never made it to Wildwood. Everybody kept saying I should go. And,
They had an amazing haunted house. It was.
Yeah,
It
I'm
was
sorry.
best.
Haunted houses in like Halloween. Oh, people dress up, or haunted houses in. Oh, I guess this is a haunted house.
No, like this was a haunted house on the attraction on the boardwalk, and we were there in the summer, and they had it open, and people were going through. It was really awesome. You walked into this one room and there was this like giant fireplace with
What?
a portrait, like this giant portrait
What
of
the hell
a
happened?
Dracula-looking kind of dude on there.
This
And then the
guy.
lights would go out and a spotlight came
You
on, and
bastard.
the portrait was gone, but there was a guy dressed exactly like it with the long black hair, the sideburns. Like, it was amazing, and he was just like,
reset
"Ha,
the
you've come
boss
to
because he
Paso."
wants to go and attack him.
Like,
Bastard.
people in the group would disappear. Like, there was some audience participation going on.
I gotcha.
And you then walk into another room, which was torture chamber room, and you would see somebody from your group, like, on the rack, and you'd be like, what the hell is going on here? I don't know if it's still open, but man, as a 13-year-old, it was the coolest goddamn thing I
There
ever
we
saw.
go. Now I got it.
I wonder if they did it with plants or just audience participation.
Maybe. It might have been plants. I don't know.
That's all I can think of to explain that.
Sounds like a really
Either
good
that or
idea.
these were
Oh, wait,
people that
what-
signed some
what
kind of
era
waiver
was that, though?
beforehand. Yet, like, maybe they were looking for people over a certain age. Who knows?
I'm thinking it had to be plants so that members of the party, like,
Well-
if somebody grabbed their family member, didn't freak out.
It kind of depends on the era too. I mean, when was this? 90s?
I'm gonna say
Early 90s.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, it had to be plant them because that was
Yeah.
that was about the time that everyone started worrying about lawsuits.
You know, we never made it to Wildwood, although we probably should have gone, but it was a bus ride, quite a bus ride for us. So
Yeah.
I was like,
No, it was a nice, you spend your day on the beach, and then, during the late afternoon, early evening, we'd go off on the boardwalk and have fun.
Kill it, Stone, kill it.
Ocean City wasn't too bad. I mean, Ocean City was like a 45-minute bus ride for us by the time we switched buses and everything.
I was actually born in Jersey.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, right outside Flemington, a little town called Clinton.
No mount.
Okay, up in the northern part.
Yeah, North Hunterdon County. We moved out of there when I was 7.
Good.
Went back a few times. And it's funny now because I got my oldest sister and a couple of my other relatives are like, "Oh, you should go back and visit." I'm like, "Why?" And they're like, "Well, that's where you kind of grew up." I'm like, "Not really." I grew up more in New York than I did in New Jersey, and I don't remember the name of anybody I went to school with from kindergarten to 2nd grade.
I hated all the people I went to school with.
I try to forget the people I went to school with in New York.
Yeah, I don't think anybody I actually went to school with is still there. I think they all left.
No more derp horse.
Oh, every now and then I'll get the random Facebook invite from somebody from junior high or high school that made my life a living hell. Like, "Hey, man, how you been?" It's like, well, let's see. We ain't talked in forever because you were an asshole when we were 13, and I hate you. Yeah, I
It's
hold
like-
grudges.
like,
I don't
totally
care.
forget about all the stuff they did to you. Like, oh, I was just joking. No, you weren't. Goodbye.
Yeah, whatever.
There wasn't a whole lot to do where we were in South Jersey. I mean, there was the boardwalk, kinda. There was the beach, kinda, but. you
But they were
really
both Atlantic City, so that kind of is really kind of hip.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I went to
Yeah.
Atlantic City once
I'm sorry.
in my mid-20s. We decided, hey, we're gonna go to the casinos.
didn't-
We would have been better off going to Foxwood in Connecticut.
Yeah,
Definitely.
probably. What casino did you go to?
Oh God, I think it was one of Trump's.
Oh, well, that's why.
Well,
Yeah.
to be fair, there's not like there's anything that
Yeah.
much better over there, hon.
Well, here's the thing: like people talk about Atlantic's great, it's gambling capital of the East Coast. Like, yeah, that's like saying 3rd Street's the better heroin street.
It's the best poop sock in America.
Atlantic City might have been pretty roaring in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, but once the
It
80s
was at
hit,
one time, but like the 80s, it started to get a little rough around.
everybody realized Vegas is where the is at.
I haven't been to Vegas yet. I want to go one time.
Well, Vegas is a hell of a lot. Well, Jersey, you look at the casinos there, hell of a lot more, especially up until probably the mid to late 80s had a huge mob influence.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
yeah. No, well,
Vegas